All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to rebuild a caliper off a motorcycle. Now, this caliper is off the Subscriber KX250. However, they're pretty much all the same on all motorcycles, so this procedure will apply to many makes and models. Okay, so here's the rear caliper, and the reason for the rebuild, it looks like someone splashed this with various paint. First it was blue, and then there's a little bit of silver on here. And I have this vapor blaster, right? So we're just gonna take it all apart and clean it back to just aluminum, right? A bare aluminum look, and it'll look awesome. But these pads are smoked, okay? This pin looks a little bent, a little worn, so that's a common thing. And then this guy is 15 years old, so we might as well replace all the seals and the pins and all that good stuff. So let's just start taking it apart. Okay, so we got our caliper guard. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, let's remove the caliper from the bracket. So we got a 5mm Allen here. Okay, so see this pin? This pin is super worn. Okay, so what happens when these pins wear is when you put a new set of pads or whatever, they don't slide well on here. Okay, they get hung up in this notch. Okay, so we got a new pin that we're going to be putting in there. All right, so after you pull that apart, you can take this dust seal off, and it looks like all the pads just came off and whatnot. That's fine. So these are smoked. They're chipping and deteriorating. So yeah, you can see the overspray on here. Okay, so we'll vapor blast this, and it'll look awesome, and we'll make sure we'll clean that out really well, because that's the slide, right? Okay, so now we're left with this here. Let's pop these clips off. Okay, we'll clean these clips off as well. So everything kind of just fell apart, but that's all right. And there's even overspray on this brake line, so I will probably vapor blast that as well, and it'll clean up just fine. All right. Okay, so let's remove the piston. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the master. Okay, I'm just going to push it. It should move. Yeah, it's moving that piston a little bit, but it's getting sucked back in. All right, so we'll use the master as much as we can to get this guy out. I'm going to put on safety glasses or a shield, because it might spray all over me, so I don't want that. Okay, and normally I would put a rag over this, but I kind of want to show you what happens, so I'm going to get dirty for your benefit here. Oh, like mud. Nasty. Alright, so we got the piston out. Oh, that's disgusting. Let's move the brake line, 12mm. Okay, and on the brake line there is a copper washer on each side. So just make note of that. Okay. Let's pop the bleeder off, 10mm. Okay, pop that out. Okay, there's 2 seals in there. Let's dig those out. So I'm just using a pick. The rebuild kit comes with 2 new ones. So just dig this out. Okay, there's that. And then there's this one. Okay. Okay, so this is as far as we need to take it. This is going to go straight in the vapor blaster, and we'll clean this up. I mean, look at that. It's nasty. So this will clean up real nice. We'll put both these in the machine. Okay, so we're going to be vapor blasting the caliper, the master, and even the brake line. I could take this machine and blast the brake line at a low pressure, and it like restores the look of the rubber, and you can actually see the lettering in the line again, and it just looks brand new again. Okay, so that's great. So I'm just using fine glass, low pressure, and it cleans up the parts and they look brand new. Now, if you're interested in building one of these, I have plans, several plans actually. You can convert the Harbor Freight machine, or you can build one from scratch out of a couple sheets of plywood, waterproof it, and bam, you got a machine that restores parts to brand new condition. Okay, and it's way cheaper doing it yourself than buying a retail machine. I also have blast guns that you can purchase. So I got a whole bunch here all built up, ready to go. This is my own design, and it just rips. It's about twice as fast as like a cheap gun that you may find on the market. So I got that going too. So make sure to check that out. I'll leave some links in the upper right and in the video description. But let's go ahead and just blast these parts and make them look new again. Okay, so this is all vapor blasted, all cleaned up. Now we can begin reassembly. So what I have here is a little bit of brake fluid, and there are 2 seals. You can see the really much wider seal. That's the piston oil, that's the oil seal or the whatever, and then this smaller one is the dust seal. Okay, so first we're going to install this, and looking at the service manual and this seal in particular, it doesn't look like I mean, it's symmetric and there's no chamfers on it or anything for orientation purposes. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in any old which way because it doesn't specify anything. Okay, so we got brake fluid all over this, and I will just put it in the deeper slot here. Okay, so just jam that guy in there. Okay, so that's in there. Okay, now we got our dust seal. Okay, so we'll put that in the closer slot. Okay, now I'm going to take my piston. I'm just going to put a little brake fluid on here to lubricate it. Obviously, this end goes in first. Okay, that went in all the way. Alright, so it moves. It's all good. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, if you remember, this clip goes here. There's two little tangs sticking out. That guy snaps on right there. Okay, let's go ahead and put this rubber boot right in here. Okay, so that sits in there like that. Okay, I got a little bit of Bel-Ray waterproof grease, so what I'm going to do is just insert it in here and lubricate this whole channel here. Okay. Okay, next up we're going to jam this rubber boot in here. Maybe it's easier to pull it the other way. Okay, we'll slide it in like that. Okay, so at this point we can just grease our pins here. One there, one here. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in here. Okay, the other clip goes right here. Alright, so what we can do is join these two together. So this clip's a little loose. Just go ahead and put that back in there. Okay, now we'll load our pads in. So that goes there. This one goes here. Okay, and then followed by our pin that goes through here. That holds it all in place. Okay, we'll tighten that once it's on the bike. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It's fully rebuilt. We're going to spread these pads. Spread these pads out. Okay, and then lastly we can put on our bleeder screw. So go ahead and put this guy on like so. This rubber guy gets put on like that. And then put in our bleeder screw. Okay. And then we'll connect the banjo bolt and the 2 washers on the bike. Okay, I got the caliper back on the bike, and this banjo bolt was installed before the caliper was slid on and the wheel was put on, okay, because it's a really tight axis in here. But I have a washer on each side of the hose. This is tightened down. The bleeder's loose because we need to bleed the brakes yet, but go ahead and screw this guy all the way in. Okay, nice and tight. And I believe I got a little plug that goes in here that is missing, so I'll need to order one of those. But in any case, making a little noise. Everything needs to kind of settle in a little bit. But yeah, the old pads were smoked. All right, guys, well, that's it for this video. I'm also rebuilding the master cylinder on this model, so make sure to check out that video. I'll have the link up here at some point or in the video description, or just check my channel for that video. This bike is getting a full master rebuild, caliper rebuild, and eventually we'll do a video on bleeding the brakes so the brakes are fresh. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button.